Hi, welcome to another mind training session. Have a big breath in and a deep sigh. I think the previous session was quite challenging. We raised the notion of self-cherishing. It's quite confronting, I think, to really see it within ourselves and to be willing to accept that it might be there and that it might be the cause of our many problems, of our suffering. I hope that you remember that by doing this difficult work, it is to achieve freedom from suffering. This is not about self-criticism or punishing yourself, and it can't be about denial. There's a seriousness to the practice, and this is where we move beyond being a beginner. We're not looking to be comfortable. We're looking to be honest with ourselves and to liberate ourselves, to find access to true happiness. And not just for the benefit of ourselves, but for the benefit of others. It should be exciting. If it's depressing, too difficult, then you can see how strong your self-cherishing really is. What do we want to protect? This poor little me? We need to remember that me story is not true. Okay, sit up straight, close your eyes. Relax yourself into this moment. Feel your body, arms, legs, back, front, neck and head, and face. You call it my body. Who's the owner of this body? Me. Is this me person a figment of your imagination? When you look in the mirror and you look at your own face, you say, that's my face, that's me, and you give it a name. Who's this me person? Have you been living a lie your whole life? Preoccupied with this story of a made-up person in a made-up world? This is advanced yoga. This is the pathway to freedom. Right now, feel your body and what it is actually made up of. Skin, flesh, and bones. From the top of your head, moving down all the way to the toes, let's focus on the sensations of only the skin of the body. Starting in the head and face, coming down, the neck, shoulders, coming down the arms, the skin of the body, the external surface, all the way to the fingertips. And then from the shoulders, coming down the chest and also upper back, down the torso, all the way down to the waist, down through the hips and legs, the skin of the body, all the way down to the toes, your external surface. Now, from the toes coming back up to the head, we're going to imagine stripping away the skin to what we know is underneath. If you looked in an anatomical book, you'd see all the muscles, the flesh of the body. That's what we want to be aware of and try to feel. So stripping the skin away from the toes, through the feet, coming up through the legs, the muscles and fibers, all the fleshy parts through the knees, up to the hips and waist, coming up through the abdominals, the digestion and the back muscles, up through across the chest we have the heart and the lungs, the muscles around the back, up to the shoulders, and the fleshy parts coming down the arms, all the way through to the hands and fingers, and then around the neck area and throat, and around the head, all the way up to the top of the head, and including inside the head the tongue, the eyeballs, and the brain, these fleshy parts. And now from the top of the head going down to the toes again, we have removed skin. Now we remove the fleshy parts. What's left are the bones. Thinking of your skeleton from the top of the head, around the back of the head, the bone structure of the face, teeth and jaw, the spine coming down the neck, around the shoulder area, collarbones, coming down the arms, the bones of the arms, through to the hands and the bones of the fingers. Then come down around the chest area and feel your rib cage and around the back of it. The spine coming down, mid-spine, lower spine, down to the hips and pelvis. And then coming down the legs, the bones of the legs, the knees, shins, ankles, and the bones of the feet and toes. In a conventional reality, this body is made up of skin, flesh, and bones. There is no person written onto this. You can't find a person, a me person. One day this body will die. If it's lying in a grave after 100 years, you will see no signs of a person, this labeled me. So where is it? Is it a figment of your imagination? Yes, it is. Okay, open your eyes, come back to the space. Have a big breath in and a deep sigh. It's a really good practice, that one. That's part of the Satipatthana series. We'll do more of that too. It's an excellent practice. Okay, so today we're going to look at the final two of the 8 worldly concerns. The things that we worry about all day long. These concerns that we have as we feel like we are a person living in a world and we worry about so many things. The first two were desire for happiness and fear of suffering. 3 and 4, desire for importance, recognition and respect, and fear of insignificance, not being respected or considered important, not being noticed. And then the last one, desire for praise and fear of criticism, a deep-seated fear. So much hurt involved with that one. And today, the final pair, desire for gain and fear of loss. Close your eyes, have a big breath in, and a deep sigh. Start doing slow, deep breathing through your nose, slowly in towards full, and slowly out towards empty. Breathing only through the nose, slowly and gently, softly and quietly. This is a relaxing practice, a soothing practice for your psyche, as we now look at more confronting ideas about ourselves and the behaviors of our psyche. Keep going with this breathing. I wrote down many notes for this one, so I'm going to read them to you. Ways to get you to understand how dominant these concerns are, these things that we're worrying about all the time, how much they plague our lives. So first, desire for gain. This is a big preoccupation. Almost all of our actions are based upon this. If you're good, you get. This is a classic parenting model. We teach children to be good, and not just good as people, but to be good at things. And then we will get what we want: approval, success, power. So that is conditioned, socialized into our minds very early on, particularly at school. We only go to work to get paid. In relationships, we expect to get many things: respect, attention, praise, comfort, and love. We want to get love. We invest energy into our relationships because we want to get something for ourselves. Examine, as you go out into your day, how often are you looking to get things? Think right now as you're meditating. Are you meditating and doing these sessions because you want to get something? What is it you want? Do you want to get happiness, peace, connection, freedom? Is that why you're here? I want this, I want that. Our whole consumer culture thrives on our incessant need to get things for ourselves. And in fact, desire for everything is about getting satisfaction. These days, the modern world, we're a deeply dissatisfied population, and we look for happiness in consumer objects, a house, a car, good clothes, money. We want to gain as much money as possible because we think that will give us security. We invest emotion, time, money, energy, all ways to get something. Keep going with your breathing. Take a little time here to think about this, about the way the whole world functions and what we're all trying to get. Relax the breathing, have a deep sigh. Then open your eyes, come back to the space. Check how you're feeling and reacting to these ideas, particularly if you're becoming emotionally attached to them or resistant to them. If you're becoming angry or defensive. This is not a morality issue. This is not about I'm a good or bad person. This is just about recognizing how much energy you put into these areas, how these are serious concerns for you, for this little me person inside your head, and how you devote your whole reason for existence to these ideas. And it's up to you to question yourself. Are you pouring your whole life into these areas? And is that a good use of your time and energy? And is it beneficial for others as much as for yourself? Close your eyes again. Have good posture. Have a good sigh. Now go back to the slow, deep breathing, massaging your lungs, massaging yourself, your body, your egoic mind. And now we'll look at the otherworldly concern here, the polar opposite, fear of loss. Insurance is a solid example of the extents we go to protect against loss. Even if we have to pay a high price for petrol, milk, electricity, when we get our bills, we hate losing money. We don't want to lose our security, our comforts, our possessions. That's mine, give it back. If you've lent someone a book, you start worrying, am I going to lose that book, that possession of mine that I haven't even looked at for 8 years, but suddenly it seems important? We don't want to lose face. We can't bear to lose the ones we love. Disappointment is all about loss, sadness, and grief. We don't want to lose our identity. We can't bear to lose control. And we will not lose our freedom or our rights. We are really worried about protecting ourselves and what we have. First, we put a lot of energy into getting things, and then we put a lot of energy into securing them, making sure we don't lose them. Even if for a fleeting moment we feel that we have happiness, we start worrying, becoming anxious that we're going to lose it. Gain and loss. We put so much emotional energy into this area. And important here is to see the connection to self-cherishing once again. This idea of me and my needs, my wants. I want to get all of them if I can, or at least as many as possible. And I don't want to lose any of those things that I want. Now, a great deal of my thinking is related to these two areas. If you sit and meditate and try to concentrate with single-pointed concentration, not thinking about a whole lot of other stuff, you'll find that you can't stop yourself thinking. And what are you thinking about? The anxious worrying about getting what you need and want and not losing anything if you can help it. Relax the breathing. Have a sigh. Slowly open your eyes, come back to the space. Are you feeling good? What's important here is to notice right there. So the ego, it won't be feeling good. It doesn't like being criticized or made to feel like it's bad. But if you're really excited by the possibilities here, interested in liberating yourself of these conditioned, habitual, fearsome obsessions, then you get it. This is the more meaty work of mind training. Looking at your own mind, seeing what it's doing, seeing that it is mistaken. It's pouring so much energy. It is so preoccupied with unnecessary concerns. We'll look at solutions to these problems as we keep going. Just watch yourself over the next couple days and watch other people. See how we're just so worried the whole time. Our lives are littered with the 8 worldly concerns. That is what's called suffering. How are we ever going to be happy if we keep thinking like that? Let's create a new space for ourselves, a whole new world, a new way of being, a new way of interacting. It's potentially wonderful. Thank you for today. Take care.